Hello and good day to you. Today's video is on tension swatch, which enables you in measuring your tension gauge. I'll be using DK yarn. This is yellow and this is green. I'll be using cast on comb, which is connectors. That's two cast on comb with a connector to connect them together, since I'll be knitting on 60 needles. I need my 1x1 needle pusher and just a metric ruler. I won't be using this this gauge ruler, this yellow gauge ruler. I won't be using it. I'll be using this metric instead. And of course my needle bed and my carriage. Row counter also. Thank you. So I'll push 30 needles on your left. After zooming, sorry, let me change so that you can see what I'm doing. 30 needles on your left and 30 needles on your right to the position. And with our 1x1 needle pusher, we push every alternate needles back to A position. That's non-working position. This is just for cast on purpose. I'll take them back to B position or working position when I finish casting on. Before I start, I'm going to show you the setting on my carriage. The lever is set on 2 and this one is on triangle because I'll be knitting on stockinette. You set the levers on both sides of your carriage. And my on the stitch die, let's zoom in so that you can see what I'm doing. The stitch dial of my carriage is set to 2. This is just for cast on, and I'll knit 1 row. Hanging on my cast on comb and clipping on the yarn tail on this clip. Alright, I've knitted 1 row and I'm going to push every needle I pushed before. I pushed to A position. I'm going to push them back to B position or working position, and I'm going to knit 1 row. Remember, 60 needles. So 2 rows. Still on tension 2. Let me knit a few rows. Let me say 10 would be appropriate for this. Take my yarn out of my yarn feeder, hang it on my yarn wrist. Take the contrast yarn. I'll put my tension now to tension and stitch die to 3. Threading my stitch die. There's a tip I normally use. This contrast yarn, I need the actual row I use on my stitch die. For example, if I'm using 3 on my stitch die, I need 3 rows with the contrast yarn. This is because after knitting, sometimes I make various swatch and decide on which one I'm going to use. And after that, I forget which one really is for the other. Though sometimes I use color codes, but as you know, I tend to forget sometimes. So this is a trick I use for it. So when I count the cast on and the contrast yarn and see that it's 3, I know that yes, I use tension 3 for this. Now I'm going to knit with my main yarn. Row counter set to 0, 0. Can zoom in to see what I'm doing. Threading my yarn, stitch dial on 3, and I'm going to knit 30 rows. Slip. Sorry, I move it. Have to remove my carriage. Okay. Rows. 21st, you push 21st needle on the left and 21st needle on the right to D position. I think we should zoom in to see this one. Good. And take your contrast yarn. I'll just break 2 of it, 2 strands, not too long. And I'll hang it on it. And knit it manually. Let's zoom in to see what I've done. I'll repeat same on the other needle, on the needle on my left. So let's zoom in to see what I've done. And I'll knit it manually. Good. I'll continue knitting until row counter shows 60. That's I'll knit 30 more rows. Rows. Take my yarn out of my yarn feeder, hang it on my yarn rest. I'll bring in my contrast yarn and knit 3 rows again. Take my yarn out of my yarn feeder, or break my yarn since I won't be needing it anymore. Bring in my main yarn and knit 10 more rows. You can change the tension here if you desire, back to 2. Alright, you break your yarn. And here's your swatch gauge. or tension swatch. Remove your yarn, your cast on comb. Without any yarn in the carriage, just move your carriage across and your knitting will drop. Roll knitting vertically and pull, or lengthwise and pull to close stitches. I'll be using it for software I have, Designer Knit. You can also use it for knit leader, because most knit leaders use tells you to make tension goes between 40 stitches and 60 rows. Now, after treating your tension swatch after treating your tension swatch according to the yarn manufacturer instruction of washing, that's washing your tension swatch according to your yarn manufacturer's instructions, leave it to rest overnight. Then you measure between the contrast yarn. Let me zoom out a little so that you can see. Then you measure between your contrast yarn. Zoom in closely. I see what I'm doing. Then you measure between your contrast yarn. Right now I'm having 19.7 or so. But after washing, after leaving to rest overnight, to know what it might reduce. And you measure between stitches. And I'm having 17. This one I did previously. This one has made it about 2 days ago. So let me see. It's saying 18.5. And it's saying 17.2. So this is how you make your tension swatch and measure your tension gauge. Thank you.